Hey, everybody, this is Jeremiah Craig coming at you for another interview in the Western wear world. Today, we got Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery here. We got Erica, Shannon, and Lee joining us all. And this is the most folks that we've had on one of these interviews before. And I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining me here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
I'm wondering if
Thanks,
you guys can sort of kick us off here by introducing yourselves and the responsibility that you guys have at Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery. Lee, why don't you go first?
I'm the janitor and the beer cooler stocker.
Yes.
I guess I'm a part owner. Sheila's the real boss, and the owner is really the bank. But anyway, I grew up in the boot business. My grandpa started Hodge Bootery in 1946. My dad bought it in 70, and I worked there when I was a little kid on the floor, and then worked with my brother as a cobbler in the back, as an assistant cobbler or whatever. I did more shoe shining than I did anything, but and then we bought the store back 3 years ago, so that's might be a big deal.
I love it. Thank you. Shannon, how about you next?
I've been with the company since 1997.
I think we're going to need to get you closer to the mic.
I've been with the company since 1997. I worked for the previous owners until Pete sold in 2019. I worked for the original Pete. I've been around Western my whole life, and it's my passion and my drive. There's not much that I like to think I know a little bit about everything and a whole lot about nothing.
Love it. Erica, how about you?
I'm Erica Hodge. I am the daughter-in-law of the owners. I help out with sales and cleaning up and doing a little bit of everything. We restock the boots, press the clothes, everything. So it's really fun. I've been here with Pete's since they opened up, since Sheila and Lee took over 3 years ago.
In 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining me today. Let's kick things off with Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery's history. I know it's a really long history in Belle Fourche, and we could take it in pieces, a little bit at a time. But maybe Shannon's the best person to start us out here with the history at the geographical center of the nation there in Belle Fourche, South Dakota.
So Pete's came about in 1985. The original owner, Pete, he started working for what they called the in 1964, 65. And
we're still having a little bit of problem with the mic there, Shannon.
Okay. So the original Pete's started in 1985. Pete, the original owner, started as a manager for another Western company in the mid 60s, and he worked here until he sold the store in 2019. So it's been a Western store since then. 1985 is when he came back over and started the original Pete's, and it's been a fixture in Belle Fourche ever since.
Love it. Now, I thought I read something on your website about it going back to 1918.
Well, that's with the building. Our building was actually built, I believe it was before 1918. Actually, I believe Erica's going to double check. I believe the building was actually built in 1903 by Seth Bullock, is when the building was actually 1890. Excuse me, 1890 is when the building was built way back then by Seth Bullock, who's our little local ghost and original founder of the city of Belle Fourche. And this building's been a lot of different things. It's been several grocery stores, tire shops. It's been men's stores, but it's always had its tradition and roots in the Western industry.
I love it. And maybe Lee, you could take it from here, because Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery used to be two different things. How did they come to be one store?
So, I mean, when we closed our store, we lost it. It was hard times in the early 80s, and we lost our store. And that's when Pete was actually working for the Hitchin Post. He was the manager of the Hitchin Post. Originally, the building we're in was the Hitchin Post from at least 65 till he changed it to Pete's. And when we closed, they moved across the street into our store, and because it was way bigger. And then when they lasted for a couple years with the hard times, and the Hitchin Post closed, and that's when Pete started Pete's Clothing in '85. Bought that the Flatiron building that we're in now, and started that. So, and then when we bought it in 2019, the first thing we did gingerly was to hang the Hodge Bootery sign up kind of on the front without throwing Pete's name out in the street, type of thing, because it definitely is Pete's. So it's a good mix.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that the community there in Belle Fourche is really thankful to have you guys, which sort of leads me to my next question here. And since the store and building has been in the community in one form or another as a business for so long, you guys at Pete's Clothing must have deep ties to like the local culture. Can you tell us a little bit about how small stores like yours foster a strong sense of community?
Sure. I mean, it's if we don't have it, we recommend the person, down the street or across the street. It's always, somebody they come in to the first store, which that's us, and they're like, do you have this, or do you know where you can get it? And Shannon usually knows, if we don't have it, somebody that's got it, or where it can be had, or we'll do our best, get on the phone, call somebody, small town.
How about events and things like that? Are you guys involved with sponsoring rodeos or other types of events that, the community takes deep pride in?
The rodeo there is a big deal, especially it saved Pete's during COVID, because everybody else was closed. There was no rodeos that year. The rodeo they had was huge, and brought a lot of people to town, and we were able to, pick our bootstraps back up and go, okay, we're going to make it as new owners of Pete's. And but yeah, the Black Hills Roundup 104th this year, 103rd or 4th. And we're always sponsoring anything to do. We like to do stuff with kids in rodeo, but we're also the first place that they stop in for donations. So we try and help out as much as we can.
Love it. Erica, how do you see Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery affecting the community?
I definitely feel like we are really involved with the community. A lot of people stop in and ask us, to help out with things and to be involved in things. I mean, we do a Halloween thing or a trick-or-treating thing down here, the parade. We really try to stay involved, and everybody knows Pete's. I mean, we have people coming from Rapid City instead of going to Boot Barn because their friends told them to come down here, because we're going to go out of our way to take care of you as best we can. We don't want to sell you something to make the money. We want to sell you something that you love, that you can't live without, that is perfect for you. We don't want to send anybody out here not liking or loving what they have. So I think, Pete's Clothing, a lot of people think of us as family, and I love that. It's such a close-knit community that everybody knows everybody. And I just think that that's beautiful. I mean, even from afar, we've got Montana customers, Wyoming, everything, and we all treat each other like family. So
that's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for those answers, guys.
Absolutely.
And speaking of how people sort of drive a ways and travel to come to Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery so that they don't have to go to Boot Barn and things like that, a lot of that has to be with the customer service that you guys offer, right? And maybe the fit that they can get at Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery. you know. And this leads me to something, because at Boot Barn, it might be hard to find some of the devices that give you a good fit. And I'm wondering, do you guys have a Brannock device or another way to measure foot size and width in your store? And how important is that to the customer's experience?
You know, we do have the device, but a lot of our customers just want to, and we do use it from time to time, but a lot of our customers want to try the boot on, feel it, and we want to make sure that they feel good and that they've still got that room in it, you know, in front of their foot. But trying it on is the best for us, because all these boot brands, you're going to jump around in sizes. And I mean, trying it on and touching it is 100% what I feel is the best. But I've seen Shannon use the devices a couple times, and you know, we want 100% fit. We don't want to maybe fit. So normally everybody tries it on and they find their boot and I love this. This feels great. This is what I want. But yeah, we want them to love it.
Lee, you were mentioning before we started going live here that, you know, it's kind of a starting point with the Brannock device.
Absolutely. If somebody comes in and has no idea, they don't even know what size shoe they wear, you know, and some people are they want, okay, I've seen this before. You're going to measure my foot. Okay, we'll use the device to have a starting point. It's just a starting point. Then you start trying them on. But with handmade boots, you know, these boots aren't made by robots. So there's even, you know, you can order 2 pairs of boots and you might have to make a pair out of the 2 pair for that person. It happens.
Yep, it definitely does. There is always a little bit of difference with handmade boots. And, you know, continuing on with that topic of the big franchise stores and how people are traveling to Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery to have a different experience. How do you guys feel? And I guess a better way to ask this question is, what do small Western wear stores offer over the big franchise stores?
Well, I mean, we've got great customer service. I mean, like Shannon's been there 20 years plus, you know. Erica's got is really coming on strong with knowledge in the boots. And so our big thing is that's what we do. We didn't just come there for a summer job. This is our living. We want people to walk down the street with a big smile on their face and they're going, what are you so damn happy about? Well, look at these boots, look at this hat, look at it, you know, whatever. Don't it look great? They took care of me at Pete's Clothing. We get it all the time that the customer service is number one, and they keep coming year after year. And hell, Shannon knows everybody. When they walk in, she knows their name. So, and what they wore and who their kids are and what type of boots or what size jeans or style or whatever. So
that's incredible. Shannon, how do you feel about what small Western wear stores like yours offer over the big franchise places?
Customer service. You can go into anywhere and buy a pair of boots, but it's the personal service that you get from our store. We like to think that we know what our people want. We like to think we know what our customers needs. They become our friends, you know, because they're not customers, they're friends. And we want them always to feel that they are friends when they come into the store. And that's really important to me. That's really important to all of us, is to have that relationship, to grow with your customers, because we are actually now, on some families, we're on 5th and 6th generation families that have shopped either between Hodges and Pete's from the years past. So that's really important to us to keep, because in order to keep Western alive, any store, our store, any of the other stores, you've got to have that multiple generations to come back and shop with you.
That's great. That's incredible to see the families and the generations come through one store.
It's really neat.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. And I want to remind everybody watching live, here. Thank you. We got around 20 folks watching live right now. I appreciate you guys. That if you have any questions for Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery, please feel free to put it in the live chat. This is a nice opportunity to see what it's like running a Western wear store. Small shop there in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. And we do have one question in here from Neil over in Scotland. He asks, what boots and Western trends do you guys see upcoming?
Right now, everything is still, in my opinion, everything is still the Yellowstone's trend. Western goes into phases. Like in the early 80s, it was the whole urban cowboy thing, that was really strong. And then it kind of died down. And then in the early to mid 90s, you had the Garth Brooks steam pickup. That was really strong. And then the mid to late 90s, you had the whole 8 seconds Lane Frost bull rider type of thing. And now it's into the Yellowstone thing. We see a lot of what I consider regular ranch clothes, not a lot of flashy stuff. A lot of it's kind of more basic ranch style, because they want to look like John Dutton. They want to have that Yellowstone experience. They want to feel like they're part of that.
And a lot of our customers are true ranchers, and they hate Yellowstone. So they want their traditional 13 MWZs and just the plain shirt, and they don't want the flashy stuff. We don't do too flashy. We're more traditional cowboy.
Now, maybe you can explain this for me. I don't like Yellowstone either, but I'm curious, why do ranchers around Belle Fourche, South Dakota, hate Yellowstone?
They don't think it's true. They don't think it's legit.
It portrays us in a really negative light, I think.
Betrays who?
It's not real life, and people have a hard time deferring television from real life. If you stop to think about it, it's kind of like Dallas was back in the 80s.
Yeah, not everybody in Belle Fourche has a ranch that size.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So we have a question here from Keith Tarnowoski, wanted to know a little bit more about the Yellowstone thing and the trends. So you said the regular ranch wear clothes.
Right.
So what does that look like, and what sorts of things does that entail?
Square-toed boots, basic colors, snap front shirts, vest, jeans, not a lot of embroideries, not a lot of the smile pockets, Roy Rogers, kind of what you have, kind of some people have in the back of their brain of like the old cowboys wore, like the Gene Autry, Roy Rogers. It's not like that. It's very, very basic. It's more work type clothes. Just basic. Even in any of the catalogs or markets or anything, you see a lot of things just very basic.
No fancy stitching on the back pockets. Those are for the girls.
What about the rhinestones?
No rhinestones. No rhinestone cowboys in South Dakota.
we got that in the jewelry case up front for the girls.
Love it.
When the cowboys get in trouble.
So we got another question here from Smack Daddius. What is y'all's favorite toe shape? He asks.
My personal favorite toe is either the wide square or more the cutter toe. Erica, what do you think?
I like the roper toe. That's my favorite.
Nice.
Square toe.
Square toe, there it is. And the R. Watsons, too. That's the ringtail lizard ones.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Such a good look. Such a good look. All right, let's go. Let's go here to the live chat again. And Dennis Brewer asks, can you buy from Pete's Clothing Hodge Bootery online?
Absolutely. We don't, but not per se. You call us, you email us, whatever. We don't want to be trying on a guy trying on a pair of boots in the store, and our smartphone dings and goes, I'm sorry, sir. The guy in Scotland, Neil, just bought that boot and you can't have it. So we'll have to try something else on you. Our stock, it's the biggest little Western store in the world. Our stock rotates so fast that we never know what we're going to have on there. So we haven't done online yet per se, but as far as an inventory, but yeah, you just call us. We'll send you pictures on the smartphone and get you hooked up.
You know, I never thought of that being an issue, but it makes a lot of sense.
If we had the room and it wasn't so damn steep up going upstairs, we could have a separate inventory for online stuff, but we want to treat the people that actually make it into the store. We want to make sure that they get what they want, but we also are trying to branch out to take care of the people that don't have the luxury of coming all the way to our beautiful town, which they still need to do when they can. But we, quite often Shannon and Erica are even just 60 miles away or 40 miles away. The people don't have time to come to town and they need jeans. So they'll throw 3 pairs of jeans in a box and mail them out to them.
Yep. That makes sense. Makes sense. And as predicted, as we were talking before we went live, Sheila is here and says, you girls better be working still, with 3 exclamation points.
We are. Why do you think one of us keeps disappearing, Sheila?
He's the boss.
The true boss.
But even though we don't have an online store, like Lee said, we really accommodate. We send pictures, emails. We've shipped to Germany. I'm shipping a pair of boots out to New York. We ship to Mexico. I mean, everywhere. So Utah, yeah, everywhere. So we're really flexible. We want to help you find what you want. And if it doesn't work for you, you can send it back and we'll find something that will work for you. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even though you guys don't have the online store, you are one of the only stores that will ship internationally that I've come in contact with. So absolutely. Any of you folks outside of the United States looking for those, true cowboy boot brands, Hondos, R. Watsons, you name it, they're definitely an option here at Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery. And I know folks who are in the cowboy boot group who have gotten Hondos from you guys all the way in Germany. All right, let's keep going here in the live chat. Carol Burgess asks, when do you think when there'll be more toe shapes to choose from? She's getting kind of bored of the wide square toe look that's so popular.
It's already happening.
Yep, we're constantly trying to get something new and different in. It's just whether it's going to be here when we expect it to or not. But we try to get the round, the cutter, the square, a little bit of everything for the ladies. But sometimes it just doesn't get here when we want it to. Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second, because you guys have a lot of exclusive options there in store that you design. What is that process like? And I've been in the store with Phil Guijaro of Hondo Boots while you guys are sort of designing those exclusive models. What kind of goes through your guys' heads as you're trying to figure out what might be best for your customer base there?
That is a Shannon question. She is she's up with the trends, and she really likes to play with colors and the spur ledge and the toe. She wants something different for everybody. I mean, we just started getting Hondo exclusives in here again, and they are gorgeous. I mean, She's got the narrow square with the nice little spurlage. And then of course we've got the tall top. But gosh, I'm actually going to get Shannon because I really would like her to answer that question, and Lee can as well too. But hold on one moment. I really would like.
All right, yeah. Why don't you take over, Lee?
It's experience. She knows what she can sell. She knows what they want. She knows what works. She knows what works together. You know, they come into the store and they custom order stuff, and she picks up from that as well. But it's her experience and repeat sales of people coming in,
Shannon, can you tell us a little bit about your process designing exclusive styles to carry in your store?
We like color. I like stuff that's got a little color, that's got a little bit of pizzazz to make it stand out. You can walk into any store and there'll be 40 pairs of brown boots. What makes ours stand out from somebody else is you put a different color top on, you put a different toe on, you add a rubber sole, you add a spur ledge, anything like that, that's going to make it a little unique, but still compatible with what your people want. You don't, when you're making up boots and ordering boots, you don't want a ton of exotics, because exotics are nice dress boots, but you want something that what we call utility leathers. Utility leathers are leathers that you can shine up for dress and they look fantastic. But when 2 or 3 years, when you're needing your old work boots wear out, you want something that's going to hold up in that. So you look at those kind of leathers that have some heaviness, some density to them, to make them hold up and be a good boot.
And what are some of those utility leathers?
So your utility leathers, actually, it's really surprising. Your number one utility leather is probably ostrich. There's a tensile strength chart that they used to use. I don't know if they still use it or not, but it was a tensile strength chart of the thickness and the toughness of leathers. And elephant was number 1, shark was number 2, ostrich was number 3, and then you went into your bull hides. So ostrich is a fantastic utility leather. Again, it's something that looks great for dress. Then it holds up good for everyday boots. Your bull hides, your shoulders, anything like that, your cow hides, anything like that.
And you're saying that your customers have 2 pairs of boots at least. One is their work pair and one is their dress pair, still the utility leather, so that when their work pair finally is no good anymore and they can't keep using it, they can then transition their old dress pair to their new work pair.
Yep, and then they'll come in and buy a new dress pair.
I love it. That is great. Thank you. We have another question here from Smack Daddius. How does the availability for Be With work with real retailers? Is it standard whenever the retailer orders, or is it a set thing? I guess he's asking, do you guys carry them or can you special order them?
We don't carry a lot of Be-Withs anymore. We used to, we don't anymore, because it's just like anything else. As people have progressed, their feet, they've gotten bigger, their feet have gotten bigger, they've gotten wider. A lot of boots aren't available in Be-With. Certain ones are. Boot companies right now just aren't doing, unless you work with Hondo or someone like that does specialty boots. A lot of your major manufacturers, your Tony Lama, your Justin's, they're not making a lot of Be-Withs and they're not doing a lot of special makeup. So it's got to be something like a Hondo, or like our Watsons have a good selection of Be-Withs. It's just certain boots that are available in the Be-With. Rios is another good one that carries a lot of Be-With.
And do you guys special order those for folks?
Oh,
if you're not carrying them?
Absolutely. We just don't get enough calls to stock them in the store. And if we had a square toe, the guy would want a round toe. So stuff like that is just more of a special order type of deal.
Makes sense. Thank you, everybody, for the live chat questions. If you have any more, please feel free to put them in there. I got a couple more questions here lined up that I've prepared. Lee, can you tell us a little bit about what seasonal demand is like in your store? Do preferences of your customers change throughout the year based on the season, or is it pretty much the same all year round?
Oh no, we got to rotate. So the straw hats come down and the wool hats, and they go up. Now, traditionally we didn't sell as many felt hats during the summer, but it's so hard to get felt hats anymore that that we sold last year. We sold felt hats all year long, and some people they won't wear a straw hat, so they'll wear a black felt hat all summer long, no matter how hot it is. So and we
fancy.
so and then like right now we're transitioning from we always carry long sleeve shirts, but we're bringing out we've got a real big selection of short sleeve shirts that in the wintertime they go upstairs, and if there's anything left over, which there isn't usually too much, but we try and have those upstairs, and then we haul the wool coats upstairs and the wool vests and the wool bibs upstairs, and bring the fresh stock of short sleeve shirts.
All right. That's great. That's great to know. I was thinking that was going to be the case where you guys do have a rotation there. Lee, I want to move on to a little bit something else here. Since you talked about your history, working in the shop when you were a teenager, since you worked there, how have things changed from then till now?
Well, I was lucky because we were selling Sanders boots back then. My dad was a rep for Sanders boots, and Sanders boots were what Hondo is now and what R. Watson is now. And they ruined them when they got sold out, but that's what we were selling back then. But back then, I remember when my dad was a salesman and we had the store, and they said, yeah, we're gonna start carrying round-toed boots or square-toed. Back then it was round-toed boots because a lot of things were dingo and pointed toes. We were going to get into the roper toes and the round toes, and they're like, you'll go broke. And of course we went with them, and then it's just like the square toes. Now they're saying, no, we want to, no, we're going to get rid of the square toes. We're going to go back to round toes and the sharper round toes and the cutter toes. Cutter toes are real popular right now.
So things have changed on the boot side of things. What about with the business side of things? Are you facing different struggles now than you used to?
Oh, no, it's still the same. It's still the same. You know, you always still it's you're waiting for the next rancher to be able to sell his crop or his herd, you know, so that we can so they can come in and be able to afford something, or waiting for tourist season so you get people in able to shop. It's always chasing the when the people are able to buy.
So that's the biggest struggles that you guys are facing now, the seasonal buying when you get tourists come through, or when folks nearby come through and buy their new hats for the season.
Yeah. And then of course, COVID has made it really tough, you know, with supply issues, and that still is carrying on. You know, that's how we ended up with R. Watson, is because there was a lot of boots that we couldn't get, and our shelves you're like, come on, we need something. And it was 2 weeks before the 4th of July, and when we first saw R. Watson boots, and we looked at them and they said, well, that's great, but how quick can you get them? And they said, let's see what we can do. So fill out the credit app and let's go. And we ended up with R. Watson before the 4th of July, and that was last year.
Wow.
And yep. So yeah, it's always, a lot of the struggles are the same. My mom still tells me that that a lot of the stuff is the same, you know, but now, you know, back then in the early 80s, we were fighting. They just put in an interstate, and the internet was just starting to come out, and the malls were just starting. And so we were the mom and pop shop. And back then there was 4 Western stores in one block, in our little town of 5,000 people in Belle Fourche that were all successful. And before long, it was Pete's moving back across the street to start Pete's Clothing in '85. And at that time, he was the only one left out of all 4 stores.
Wow.
So we're, when Pete was pretty traditional, Pete in Alberta, we're trying to keep the same traditional attitude, but yet being able to do stuff like cool live chats with Jeremiah Craig and do some Instagram and Facebook and online, presence, whether it's just sending people pictures and shipping stuff out,
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate the dedication to tradition and also the new stuff like talking with me here, because your story is very, very fun to share. And I love talking with you guys.
Another thing is, when we've kind of upgraded to when we bought the store, it was all handwritten tickets. Now we have barcodes and stuff like that. But when the power goes down, and it does, or the internet goes out, and it does, then we can still write a ticket. Shannon's a lot better at it than I am, but she can still make change, and you count the change back type of thing, where you walk into a Boot Barn and they go, the receipt says you get 78 cents change,
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. So with all of this, what does the future hold for Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery?
We're gonna put on a 4th story.
A 4th story? Do you even have 2 yet? You got 3?
Well, no, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. With more product, more room, more everything. You gotta deal with all that, more problems. So we'll see. We want to make sure that we do what we're doing now right. When it's just like Sheila said when she bought the store, I don't want to screw around, and half-ass anything. I want boots to the street and hats to the ceiling, and we want to treat those people right with what they're expecting. We don't have the room to expand too much. Someday we might, do an online thing where we select a few things and house them maybe even somewhere else off-site and ship out of there. But it's all about the customer service. We want to take care of the people. What Pete started out as and is doing works, and so we don't want to screw that up. We think about it every once in a while, but we don't want to screw that up.
I hear you. I've been thinking a lot about that too as my channel grows, is like, how can I keep doing what I'm doing and make sure it's done right so that everybody gets the most value out of it as possible. So it's a great position to be in, and you guys are doing it right now. I mean, the customer service, you guys can see it happening right there in Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery. It's all of a sudden become really busy in there, and Shannon and Erica are helping customers, and I love to see it.
That's great. That's great. Well, I mean, it's how often do you see a place that, I mean, maybe it's a restaurant and they're so successful and it's great, and the next thing you know, they're like, okay, well, we need another location, and they branch out, and then the service and the quality goes down a little bit, and the service and quality goes down, and then next thing you know, we're not willing to do that. We want to keep it a number one quality and leave it at that.
Yeah, and we just got a nice comment from Carol Burgess here in the chat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Good job, Carol.
Perfect way to sum that up. Well, thank you so much. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, maybe with R. Watson boots and the campaign that we got going on right now for a couple of brand new pairs of boots, and sort of talk about that here?
Well, make sure you get registered, because that's an awesome deal to get a free pair of boots. Jeremiah's got all the information on getting registered.
We got 2 days
Watson's,
in already, and 200 people have already entered the giveaway.
Nice. We wish you good luck. I was tempted to register myself, but I held off. But that's a great deal. You'll love it. It's a great boot. It's got memory foam in there, hidden down in the inside. The shank is riveted in there, so you don't have to worry about a squeaky shank, like you get in some lesser boots. They're just you do need to go a half size traditionally, smaller if you can't try them on for sure, but they do run a half size big. But they've got nothing but quality. Randy Watson really put his whole life, into it. 40 plus years of learning how to do it right and wrong.
When it comes all the way in.
So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like about it too. And so much attention goes into it. And, to be the CEO of Justin Brands for so long, and then retire, and then come out of retirement, like I said there in the beginning of the video, like the Godfather. I just think it's awesome to come back like that, and to do it right with some Bewits too. I try so many boots, and I never actually not often do I get the chance to actually try the right size for me. So the fact that he's doing that is already a plus in my book. I really enjoy wearing those boots, and they're awesome to break in too. Like basically no break in.
They are. That's one of the big things is, you just put them on and you're good to go right off the bat. We had a guy that, I told you about the 4th of July. We got him in right there. One of our good customers and a friend, we showed him to him, and he's like, okay, I'll try him out. He put him on, and he went to the rodeo for a week, and then he went to work, and he basically wore them for 2 months. And we said, okay, so what'd you think of him? And he goes, the damn thing's got holes in the toes. And I go, oh no, what happened? He goes, well, he's an electrician. I was wearing them, and I scuffed the toes on the concrete and wore them out. Order me another pair just like those. I want a good pair. Those exact pair that you have.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
One for work, one for play. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm glad he's getting some good use out of them.
Yep, for sure.
Erica, I had a question for you now that we have you back here, because I'm interested in, we were talking about generations of customers coming through the store, but you're an in-law and you are a Hodge now. So how do you see the future of the store as the next generation?
Oh, I tell Sheila and Lee, I really hope one day that I'm able to take, have this as my own one day, to carry on the Hodge Bootery. Absolutely. That would be a dream. I love this store a lot, and I hope that I can make Lee and Sheila proud, and the ones before them proud as well, Susan and Dan and everybody. So absolutely, I'm hoping this becomes me, and then my children and their children. I hope that Hodge Bootery stays and Pete's Clothing stays a part of Belle Fourche forever.
What do you love so much about it?
I love the customers. I love the product. I love being able to help somebody put a smile on their face, and knowing that I helped them find what they wanted, and I made them feel good in the sense of buying a boot, hats, clothes. It's wonderful having customers come back and be like, I'm so glad you're here. I needed your help. We we have people who came last summer, the summer before, and they're just so happy to see, you know, Shannon and I. That's why it's so nice just having such a small crew in here, because they get to come back and see the same people instead of just, you know, maybe finding someone new in here. I love it.
That's incredible. I'm so excited. It's always interesting to me, and I love it so much when generations can sort of see the same thing and build off of it. Things are family down to its roots, and I think that is incredible. So best of luck to you guys, for real.
Absolutely. Although Sheila does joke that it'll skip me and go to my son, her grandson.
We'll have to see about that. I can't wait to see what happens.
I'll call my son boss.
I'm sure he probably liked that.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to end this off with? I think that's all my questions here that I had.
If you guys are out and about traveling, maybe in the summer, great destination is Belle Fourche, center of the nation. Black Hills Roundup is this will be they've already been nominated the 4th year in a row, or received the 4th year in a row medium rodeo of the year, which is a huge, you know, across the whole PRCA. So they'll be going for 5th because they just make it better and better every year. And the fireworks that go along with it, 2 nights of the fireworks and the carnival, and the parade is huge. It's a destination for sure.
I can second that. I love Belle Fourche. It's got such good energy there. Of course, Pete's Clothing and Hodge Bootery is right there as well. And you got to stop in and just check out all of the boots, the hats, the shirts, the jeans, and maybe if you mention me, Lee will give you a beer if he's there, because he did when I walked in there.
It's been known to happen.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I'm always wishing you the best. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for taking the time to talk with me here on this sort of video podcast thing.
Tell
Thank you.
Brenna hi, and thanks a lot, Jeremiah.
I will. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, guys. If you want to
Thank
stick
you.
around, I'm just going to end off the live stream, and we could talk a little bit more.
Yeah, good. These.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
You didn't like them.
Yeah, these feel pretty cool.